Oh well, so that didn't take long, did it? A new manager is already in. He's only done 2 games, but already the transfer rumour mill is going into overdrive. The in the knows are already telling us that Antonio Conte wants Gareth Bale back at Tottenham. Okay. That's kind of like a bit of a fairy tale, isn't it? The favoured son returns to Tottenham yet again, and it's his club and all the rest of it. I guess you can tell by my reaction that I'm not like overly enthused by it. This is just about opinions, and I say it all the time. You know, football is all about opinions, and that's why we have these conversations. That's why we have podcasts. That's why we have, you know, Talk Sport and Sky Sports News, all those kind of media outlets and so on, because every supporter has a different opinion. You know, I said it on my last video, but I was on a podcast with with Chris Cowling, and we were talking about the match against Everton and the squad and so on and so forth. And you can literally see the comments come out the side, but they are polar opposites aside, you know. Some people saying this player's great and needs a chance, other people saying he's absolutely dog and we need to get rid, and so on and so forth. So it's all about opinions, right? So you know, so don't take this that I'm telling you this is what you should be thinking. This is just my opinion, and it's probably unpopular because I do tend to have unpopular opinions sometimes. But for me, I think this is a backward step. I you know, as nice as it might seem on paper, you know, as much as it would be lovely to think that Gareth could come back and do an amazing job for us, I'm not sure that that's what we should be looking for the longer term for Tottenham. Let's look at it. Gareth Bale is 32 years of age. As soon as his loan at Tottenham ended, he was back to Madrid in a flash. And that's, you know, it's right. It's his club. It's who he's supposed to be with. So I'm not knocking him from that point of view. But my point is, you know, he off he went. He wanted to go back, bearing in mind that Mourinho had already left, and you know, there was a new manager coming in. That there might have been a bit more discussion about, you know, what the options were. But anyway, so he's gone back to Real Madrid. From what I can tell by doing a quick Google, Gareth is currently injured and has been injured for the majority of the season so far, with a knee injury. Now, again, that might be wrong. I don't follow Spanish football. I don't follow Gareth Bale as such. So that might be wrong, but that's what I'm reading. It looks like he has scored 1 goal this season. Again, I don't know if that's absolutely accurate. But I guess if you look at last season, which is probably where the debate becomes a little bit more interesting, because obviously from that stat of being injured and only scoring 1 goal and blah, 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 and being 32, that kind of goes, let's definitely not be looking in that direction. However, trying to be fair and consistent, looking at the other side of the coin, people will say, I'm sure, that when Gareth came back to Tottenham last season, he played something like 20 games, 10 of them were substitute appearances, and he still managed to get 11 goals in that season, which we haven't replaced. Absolutely, we haven't replaced. And you could argue that had he been given a more regular role in the side, maybe he could have become a little bit more consistent. Maybe he could have, you know, had more of an impact. And basically this was a Daniel Levy purchase rather than a Jose Mourinho purchase. Hence the reason why he didn't play him and he didn't get that consistency that he was perhaps looking for. Bearing in mind, you know, like he said, he was coming to try to get fit for the Euros and that. So and again, I don't begrudge him that. You know, it makes sense. You know, you're not playing at Madrid. If you can come to a team that will play you, will give you the opportunities, then it kind of makes sense. So there are other sides to that argument. Could he have made a more of an impression? So the question is, do you want him back? Would you want Gareth Bale back? And why would you want him back? Let's not talk about I would want Gareth Bale back because he's been a great servant of the club and he's been a fantastic player and blah blah blah. Let's talk about it from now, like as it is now. Like I say, 32 years of age with an injury. He was out injured for us when he first came over. Trying to build a side for the future, trying to build a side to push on for a trophy or top four or whatever it might be, and that may well be an absolute stretch anyway. But is that what you want? Is that what we need? Gareth Bale, is he the answer, or even part of the answer? It'd be interesting to say. So please do, leave your comments in the comment section. I do read them all, and I do try to respond where I can if it's appropriate and needs a response, obviously. But yeah, so I'll be interested to see what people's views are, whether I'm kind of out there on my own, because like I say, in my mind, I'm thinking, is this the right thing? Is this the right thing at the right time for Tottenham? Should we not be moving on and looking for, the best players in the right positions? Because, for me, we're desperately in need of a creative midfielder, someone who's going to be sitting, right there in that middle and pulling the strings for our attackers. We also need an out-and-out striker to challenge Harry Kane, to work beside Harry Kane, to whatever that might look like, to supply Harry Kane. I don't know, but that for me is where we need to be looking, and also another centre back would be really useful. So it'll be interesting to find out what everybody else's view is. Are we just mesmerised by the idea of having a key player back that played for us in the past, a fan's favourite and so on, or is it really a logical step, a good move for Tottenham as a team and as a squad? You may say he can be a squad player, come on, try and change the game and so on. I'm just not sure that a bit part player who can kind of come on, in the second half or at the end of a game and all the rest of it is the right role for Gareth Bale. I didn't feel that he was much of an impact player when he came last season. I feel he's one of these that needs to play consistently to get the best out of him. But is his desire still there? Is he really that interested? Is he really that bothered about Tottenham? Because I personally, I've never really thought that he was that committed. I mean, he says he can say the right things, but these guys are media savvy, aren't they? They're trained on what to say and what not to say and all the rest of it. So time will tell, I guess. And I guess the overarching point of this is this actually even a true story? Is Antonio Conte even interested in a player like Gareth Bale? Is that what he wants and what he feels is the right thing for Spurs? And he's the manager, and a quality manager he is. So if he decides that this is what he would like and he wants him in his squad, then I'm not going to argue with it. I'll take his knowledge over mine any day of the week. So time will tell, but it'd just be interesting. But I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. What do you think about all that? Anyway, I'll leave it with you. Up the Spurs.